Hey guys, today we are interviewing one of our local realtors, Danielle Gillespie. We're going to go over a couple of market trends and trends that we're seeing in the staging industry as they have changed so much in the past couple of weeks due to the COVID-19 shutdown. So
Hi, everybody. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
thank you for joining us. So Danielle, you're in Carolina Beach, North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and what kind of changes have you seen in the past? I mean, obviously, right before the shutdown, what kind of things were you seeing, and then how have things changed over the past couple of weeks?
Sure. So as far as real estate goes, I was expecting a major shutdown and just everybody taking their homes off the market, and that actually didn't happen. So things have been very steady. March was probably a little bit slower than it should have been for a springtime market, but it just picked right back up. Homes are still flying off the market. We're actually still in a really nice, strong seller's market for homes that are under 500,000. So they're just selling like hotcakes still. Over 500,000, it's a little bit more of a buyer's market, but I mean, the homes are definitely still coming and going. So we're just trying to be a lot more cautious when we're going into the homes. So wearing our masks, our gloves, they're, now taking our shoes off. And it's really up to the seller and what they want to do. So just trying to be as cautious as we can.
Are you doing in-person showings, and are you doing as many in-person showings?
Yeah, I would say so. The in-person showings, I think, have slowed down a little bit, but lots of virtual. And actually, virtual tours are something that's not unnormal for me. I've actually been doing virtual tours since I started real estate here in the area since 2018. So I actually purchased my home virtually, sight unseen. I've sold homes virtually, sight unseen. So that was not new to me. So I was really able to grasp that concept and run with it. Lots of virtual tours. We're doing virtual meetings like this with new clients, kind of talking about maybe doing some virtual staging, trying to do as much virtually as possible just to keep everybody safe. But now that May hit, I can see the itch in people, and they're definitely wanting to get out and about. So I think the showings are kind of starting to pick up.
That's exciting. That's exciting news for all of us.
Yes. So it's still a good time to buy and sell. That's for sure. Interest rates are still really low. Just working with a ton of people still. And we have a great area still. So it's a good time.
That's awesome news.
Yes.
What is the real estate board? What are their guidelines in terms of keeping yourself and your client safe and with COVID precautions?
So I think it's kind of ever changing, but at first it was wearing gloves and wearing a mask, social distancing for sure. And only, the agent and then the buyer would be going in the home. And then for the transaction process, so for closings, it was just the buyer that was going to be going to closing and the seller. The agent wasn't supposed to go. The lender wasn't supposed to go. So now they're asking that we can take our shoes off in the home, wiping down doorknobs, like as we're touching things, or a lot of times now the sellers will just open all of the doors, open all of the windows, and then just leave, keep all the lights on. And that's really helpful as well. So masks, gloves, and then whatever else the seller asks us to do.
Why don't we talk about what you see, Danielle, in terms of why staging would still be important in this market, given, or whether it's not, necessarily important, given, what's sort of happening right now. Okay. What are your thoughts on the importance or the necessity of home staging in this current climate?
Sure. So right now, home staging is actually huge. It's pretty much almost mandatory for a listing. And the reason is because over 90% of buyers are looking for their homes online right now. So especially for me and my listings, it's every single home is getting professional photography. Every single home is getting videography done, a virtual tour, and then staging is absolutely necessary because with this amount of people looking for their home online, your home has to look top notch. Otherwise, someone's just going to scroll to the next. So if your home doesn't look inviting, and if someone can't picture themselves being in your home virtually, then it's just not going to sell. So
Yeah.
staging is key right now.
You know, I'm glad you said that. It makes me think about my own personal experience when I'm looking for, I use Airbnb a lot when I travel.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm looking for a place to stay, I go almost solely on the photos. And if the first one or two pictures don't grab my attention, I've already bypassed that property and I'm moving on to the next one to see what's available. So I think that visually people need to connect to, you know, something that's super appealing, really beautiful. It's got to be attention getting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hear what you're saying about the staging piece and the photography as well.
It
It's
is.
got to grab people right from the start.
It needs to be clean. It needs to be sharp. People are looking for bright and airy right now. And I think, the three biggest trends that have changed over coronavirus has been one, a home office. People are 100% looking for home offices. Two is larger family spaces. And then three, a larger backyard. So lots of open floor plans where families can cook and hang out and all be together, but still separate, family spaces, bonus rooms, playrooms, and then backyards for barbecuing and hanging out. And I know that, home offices might not have been such a big thing previously. And I have friends that actually are not scheduled to go back to work until 2021. So I think it's
Yeah.
something to stay around. And people who are able to work from home now, they're getting an idea that they can do this. They don't have to go back to the office. So if they can work from home, why don't they? So I think there's going to be a big shift in that too.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking a lot about that specifically in terms of how we're designing staging moving forward, and it's making sure we're creating home office spaces, and not even necessarily one home office space,
Mm-hmm.
but home offices to accommodate both adults in the house, and then also to accommodate the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's got to be multifunctional workspaces in homes, and they've got to be able to, you know, I mean, every space in the home's got to be able to function in multiple capacities now, which is, I think, a little different.
Yeah, I agree. We discussed this in pretty great length in one of our recent videos, just in terms of, having a space. Now our kitchen is not only our kitchen for eating, it's also where we're teaching our kids when they're home from school. And God forbid, if there's another spike in this illness in the next year or so, if they close down the schools, we've got to make sure that the spaces can accommodate kids and
Yeah.
parents working from home. And and we also talked about, like, is the playroom in close proximity to the office, because you want to have some separation there so that the kids can play and not interrupt a conference call. And I think there are going to be a lot of accommodations being made moving forward, and that affects how we as stagers are investing in our inventory, because in the past, we have a couple of offices, but it hasn't been a huge priority to buy lots and lots of desks and things of that nature. And I think that it's going to be more of a priority moving forward.
Right. And to your point, Danielle, this another area, Erin, that we occasionally do outdoor spaces, you know, screened porches or back porches, but that's not all. You know, our primary focus is generally the main interior spaces, the living rooms, the kitchens, the dining rooms. And to your point, Danielle, about outdoor spaces, this is an opportunity, I think, in home staging and in real estate to really capitalize, as you were saying, on, you know, playing up the outdoor spaces where people are going to feel most comfortable gathering and entertaining with family and friends.
Mm-hmm. And I think another good idea, and maybe this is just me, but so I don't have a home office, so I think I need you ladies to come over to my house and help me.
We'll do it.
Yeah, my kitchen has definitely been, and if you look at my last post, my kitchen, my living room, my home office, my catch-all. But I actually moved a desk and I put it out on my patio, and when it's nice out, I'll just go work outside. Yeah. And because we live in such a beautiful climate where it's so nice all the time, and I mean, I can take the heat, but all these all seasons rooms, like, yep. If I had an all season room, I would 100% put a desk in there and work in there. That would be like the ideal workspace. So, I mean, that I think would be really cool too, other than just your living room furniture out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's brilliant. In a design standpoint, something to talk to builders about if we're, knowing what's happening moving forward, this would be a great conversation to have with local builders. Like, hey, we're doing these screened in porches, these all weather rooms, making sure there are enough outlets, making sure that there are enough, USB plugs and things like that. So people can properly set up an office space with their laptops, while they're out there.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed a huge difference having to work from my kitchen table and just the ergonomics behind it. I can only imagine, people are doing this long term, like they need a home office. They need someplace where they can sit up, have the proper position and be able to work for long periods of time. So it's definitely something that people are looking for.
So, what are you guys' thoughts about how the nature of, this current climate, how we can sort of be supporting each other or working together as realtors and home stagers, and what's changed? What can we do differently? What can we do better?
Yeah, great question. I think this whole dynamic has really proven to agents that you need a staging company behind you. You need a partnership, at least somebody that you can offer in your package deals. So I know for me and my listings, I want all of my homes to be top notch and look the best that they can online. So we touch base on having a staging done with that. So if I don't have a company that I can go to that I trust, that I know is going to make the home look good, that's going to automatically hurt my listing. So it's really important that I have a partnership with some ladies that can help get my homes in top shape. And not only just being able to put a couple pieces of furniture in the home, but I have some clients that maybe they need their entire home repainted because it is just pink or whatever. Being able to have someone else be a voice that says, okay, this needs to be changed, this needs to be updated, this is the color scheme that you need to go with. Because I can give my input, but at the end of the day, someone is like, okay, well, she's just an agent, what does she know about interior designing? So having that backup voice is really important.
Yeah. And, honestly, we can have conversations before the meeting with the client. And we've done this many times in the past. Like, all right, what are your observations? What do you think we need to address? And a lot of times, the realtors will say, paint color, we need to paint those cabinets in the kitchen, suggest maybe a new backsplash. And then we'll come in and support the suggestions you've made. And I think it helps to hear it from more than one person.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And just being able to, add that as a package, like, hey, if even if you don't want staging, let my girls come in and give you some advice on what you can do with your own furniture or what you need to take off of the walls, what you need to do to get your home ready. That way, maybe you're not spending that money out of your pocket or whatever. I like to, maybe add that for my clients, and I'll pay for that initial consultation with you guys for them so that they can get their home ready. But just, adding that on and just providing that value during this time.
Yeah, and I think it's really a situation then where everyone's winning. The seller, the realtor, the stagers, just by the way that we, sort of share social media, we spread very quickly. The more people involved in the listing of a property, the more reach we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, your listing suddenly becomes part of our social media spread, which doubles, the number of people that we're reaching. And then so the seller is, really the winner in that situation, because now all kinds of people are seeing, their beautiful home.
Mm-hmm. I just
Yeah.
can't stress enough how much staging improves the price of the home. Like staging can literally increase a home by $25,000, depending on the price point. But because our market is so hot, people are like, no, I'm just going to throw my house on the market. It's going to sell. Okay, that might be true. But if your home is staged correctly, it's providing that instant value. And your home is still going to sell fast, but it could sell for thousands of dollars more just with, having that professional help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have had this experience over and over and over again. It is not unusual for us to get a call for a house that's been sitting on the market for 8 months or longer. And within, 2 weeks of staging, there's already a contract. So we know it works. We know it works because we've been doing this for years now. So it makes a difference.
I'm hoping this time really proves that to people and for you guys, because now that people are shopping online, they can really see the difference that staging and photography makes. So I'm hoping that more agents will start utilizing that and more sellers will be accepting of the service.
Yeah, and we're really talking with realtors about how to be creative with the services that we're offering, given that things are really different right now. Sometimes folks want to just get a new set of photographs, so we can stage just for a photography package, or sometimes we're staging for walkthroughs and open houses. So we can be flexible, and I think this is a time for everyone's learning how to be flexible in new, really creative, interesting ways, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, we're all pivoting, and it is cool to see.
That's the word of the virus, isn't it? Pivot.
Yeah.
Well,
Danielle, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us today and to share your ideas with us. And we look forward to working with you some more in the future.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so looking forward to working together.
Awesome.
Thanks, Danielle.